A very good morning, children. Children, today we shall take up another grammar topic, direct and indirect speech. Now, this topic, children, is very important and very interesting. I know you have done it in the earlier class, but we'll do it today because this is very important, and today we'll do it in a little detailed way, okay? So, let's begin. A speaker's word can be reported in two ways, direct and indirect speech. Now, what are direct speech? They are the words, the exact words of the speaker. They are usually put within inverted commas. For example, Ben said, "I have a dental appointment this evening." If you see here, a speaker's word is what? The one who speaks, okay? The one who's speaking. He can either report it, say something in two ways, in direct speech and indirect. So we said in direct speech, you see, it's the exact words of the speaker. The example is given here, "I have a dental appointment this evening." So this is direct speech. Now indirect, how do you write that? When we tell others what somebody said or thought, we often use indirect speech. Now suppose you are the third person too, okay? You have heard Ben saying this to his friend, "I have a dental appointment this evening." Now when you have heard it and you will be going home and telling your mother. So how will you tell it? Now in indirect speech, it's often we say reported speech, okay? Indirect speech is also called reported speech. So how will you say this? When you're telling it to your mother, you'll say, "Ben said that he had a dental appointment that evening." So you see, there's a difference between direct speech and a difference between indirect speech. Let's take another example to understand this better. He said, "I am playing." What speech is this? Direct speech. Now you have to change this into indirect. He said that he was playing. So there is a difference, okay? You're putting the word that and you're changing also the pronoun I to he. Now look at this example. She said, "I am painting." Now this is in direct speech because you can see the inverted commas here. Now in reported or in indirect speech, how will you write it? She said that she was painting. Now you have some more examples here. "I am happy," Bill said. This is direct. Bill said that he was happy in the reported speech, or we call it indirect speech. She said, "I am unwell." That's direct. In reported, how will you say? She said that she was unwell. Now, what changes did you notice? If you look at these sentences, what are the changes you notice, children? Yes, first is omission of commas. Omission means you do not have commas in the reported speech. You see, there's no commas here, inverted commas, okay? We're talking about inverted commas. And use of that is there. You see in the reported speech, you have the word that. And then change of pronoun. Now, when I say hi, when Bill said, no, so Bill is a boy, so I will become he here, okay? And she said, I was unwell. So she said, so she will become again she here. You can't put it as I. So there is a change. Three things basically. Omission of commas, that is you remove the commas, inverted commas in reported speech. You use a that, and there is a change of pronoun. Now, how do we change direct speech to indirect speech? Let's see that. This is very important when you're changing children, okay? Direct versus indirect speech. Important thing to remember, change the pronoun. Back, shift the tense. Now, change the pronoun. You see here, pronoun I will become he or she. Depends on what the name is, okay, children? So, always when you're reading, read carefully. is a name for boy or girl, then accordingly you will change the pronoun. Then back shift the tense. Now if you have the verb, if you have present tense have, you shift it to and. That is important. Okay, you change it. Mostly it's changed into past tense. Then change the time and place of expression. Alright, time, expression, if you say this evening will become that evening. Now let us look at this example to understand it better. Ben said, I have a dental appointment this evening. Okay, now this is direct speech. You have to change it into indirect. Ben said that he had. Why we saying he? Because we know it's a name of a boy. So he had a dental appointment. This becomes that evening. So you can see the change, right? So you must keep all this in mind when you are changing it into indirect speech. Now these are all examples again. So you can revise this now. You have direct speech. Sarah said, I drink black coffee every morning. Now let's do this together. Sarah said, we put that. She, I becomes she, right? She drank, drink will become drank, black coffee every morning. Yes, this is clear. Moving on to the next. You have the direct speech. Naveen said, I am learning to play guitar. So how will you write this in indirect now? Naveen said that he, you see, because it's Naveen, so it's the boy. So he was learning. Am learning becomes was learning to play guitar. Look at the third example. Direct speech. My son is graduating next week, she said with great excitement. Now, let's see the change here. Indirect speech. She said with great excitement that her son, you can't say my son, no, because you're talking about her. So, her son was graduating the next week, or you can even say the following week. Either of this answer is correct. The fourth example, direct speech. I quit my job a week ago. He confessed to his wife. Quit my job means he left his job. So here when you write in indirect speech, how you write? He confessed to his wife that he had quit his job a week before. Okay, a week ago here becomes a week before. Now what is very important, children, when you're changing from direct to indirect, or what we say direct to reported speech, you must remember that you have to change the tense. Okay, so let's see how do we do that. Present simple tense becomes past simple. Present continuous tense becomes past continuous. Present perfect tense becomes past perfect. And present perfect continuous becomes past perfect continuous. So you see in the examples, all the present will change into past. Now, when is it in the past tense, what happens? You change it into another form of past tense, okay? Like past present becomes past perfect. Past continuous becomes past perfect continuous. And in the future, when it is future simple, will become would. Future continuous, will become would be. And future perfect, will become would have. So the common here about future, you have to put it would. Okay, you will have to change it into would. Now you must know these changes very well. I'm sure you are familiar with your tenses. If not, revise your tenses again so that you can solve this exercise well. Now look at these helping words, how they change. Am, is will become was. Are will become were. Have, has becomes had. Okay, all these are into the past tense. Can, can't becomes could, couldn't. And will, won't become would, wouldn't. So all of it is changed into the past tense. Now this is a nice table that shows you the change in place and time. Now the place and time will change when you are changing direct speech into indirect speech. Now let us see what are the changes. Now suppose you have the word today in the direct speech. Okay. You can't put the word today again. Okay, you have to change that. You say that day or the same day. Either of these words will be correct. Tomorrow in the direct speech, in the indirect it will be the next day or the following day. We already seen an example. Yesterday will become what? The day before, the previous day. Next week, month or year. Next year. Next we are talking about. So indirect, the following week, month or year. Last week, month, year will become the previous week, month or year. Now and just will become then, because you're putting it into indirect speech. Remember, ago becomes before, year becomes there, and this becomes that. So this table is very important when you have to change the place and time. So let's have a little recap of what we've already done now. We saw what is direct and indirect speech. We saw that direct speech is what? The exact words of the speaker, what you actually speak with the inverted commas, right? Indirect speech is what? Reported speech, what we tell others, what somebody said or thought. How do we change direct to indirect speech? We've seen 3 simple rules. Change the pronoun, backshift the tense, and change the time and place of expression. Okay, very important. And we even saw, children, the table showing tense change in indirect speech. This table is very important to learn because tense is very important, plays a very important role in changing indirect speech. And you have the table showing change in place and time. So this table also, please write it down in your notebook and learn it because it's very important, and you will be able to solve any sentences when you have to change from direct to indirect. I hope you've understood this topic. We'll be doing the second part next time because I didn't want to do more about it. Whatever is done so far, please revise it well. Children, remember, you have to do your assignment too. You're listening to the tutorial. I hope you're not just doing your assignment without looking at your tutorials, okay? You have to look at your videos in order to do your assignment. You will not be able to do it well if you don't look at the video. So look at your videos and then you do your assignments. So I hope you're even preparing for the orals. For those who have not done your orals yet, please be prepared, follow the instructions, and you will do well if you are really preparing yourself. Okay? Thank you and God bless you, children.